From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is Wake Up Weather.
Good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Kelly Rawson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're live at 6 a.m. and we have a lot to talk about. That's something I'm going to say at the beginning of my lives every single day this week, with the potential for a winter storm for us here in the Tennessee Valley. We do not say those words lightly, especially this far out, but confidence, unfortunately, is increasing for the potential for a winter storm for us here in the Tennessee Valley with potential impacts. I will have everything that you need to know at this point with plans of action, as well as what we can expect in terms of the overall system coming in this weekend. Of course, I'll have your forecast for the next few days as well as we prepare for a potential winter storm with potential impacts for us here in the Tennessee Valley. So sit down, grab your caffeine, make sure it is hot caffeine, because boy, oh boy, are we cold this morning. Temperatures, southern middle Tennessee, just making my bones chill inside here at this time. 10 degrees in Lewisburg, 12 in Hohenwald, 16 in Columbia, as well as Lawrenceburg, 14 in Pulaski, just about everywhere else sitting at 18 degrees this morning. So very cold air is here, even into parts of North Alabama. We're talking upper teens to lower 20s. Red Bay, the warm spot this morning, still well below freezing, but checking in at 28 degrees. So yes, we are cold out there. There is a little bit of a breeze making for just a little bit of a wind chill, but no matter where you are, be sure to layer up, because layers are certainly needed for today here in the Tennessee Valley. Again, winds not overly overbearing by any means, but wind gusts up to about 10 miles an hour, making for a wind chill, feeling just a few degrees colder than it actually is out there. So again, not a pleasant morning by any means. The good news is we have a nice crystal clear sky that we're waking up to. Plenty of stars still out there before we see those first few peaks of sunshine this morning. Temperatures, again, very cold. Upper teens for Lawrenceburg, dew point at a whopping 1 degree. So we are very dry with very stable air for us here on this Tuesday morning. A wind, light breeze out of the south, about 4 miles an hour here on our Arctic Air Heating and Air Conditioning sky cam. Again, those first few peaks of sunlight here in Florence, overlooking parts of Lauderdale and Colbert County. We are looking at temperatures below 20s, a dew point of 6 degrees. So again, very dry air. If you find yourself reaching for the chapstick, that is why. We are dry and we are cold this morning. So like I said, bundle up and layer up. You'll likely even need the layers through this afternoon. The good news is it'll be looking nice outside. We have plenty of sunshine on the way for the rest of today, this morning and afternoon. Looking fantastic, at least sky coverage wise. But yes, temperature is going to be cold, warming up eventually into the upper 30s to lower 40s this afternoon with just a light breeze out there. So again, not a bad day, at least for mid-January here in the Tennessee Valley. We're still looking at a nice clear sky, pretty uneventful for the rest of today. We will start to see cloud cover increase overnight, especially early on Wednesday morning. That's going to be ahead of our next rain chance. We are also going to be warmer on Wednesday. You notice here by the morning, winds out of the south blowing about 10 miles an hour. So that will work to warm us up into the 40s, upper 40s, I'm thinking, by Wednesday afternoon. And also by Wednesday afternoon, we will start to see some rain showers, just dealing with rain for us here in the Tennessee Valley on Wednesday, but enough to have you grab the rain gear. Not going to rain the entire day, not going to be a washout, but those rain showers will be around late morning through the afternoon, potentially even through Thursday as well. But again, just dealing with rainfall for this midweek rain chance, both Wednesday as well as Thursday. Again, not going to be a washout of a day either day, Wednesday or Thursday, but just giving us a little appetizer of what's to come heading into it this weekend. So for the first part of Friday, things looking relatively uneventful so far. Of course, we like to call that the calm before the storm here. But again, not looking like much in terms of impacts for the first half of Friday. But just to our west, we start to see that winter storm start to develop, and then it will be moving into the Tennessee Valley by the weekend. In terms of the exact timing, again, still a little bit too early to tell, but we are gaining confidence that things may start to fall from the sky by overnight Friday night, continuing into Saturday. More on that timing here in just a moment. But notice here on our regional futurecast, not just dealing with blues on the map. We're dealing with blues, pinks, purples. That means it's not only going to be snow that we are potentially dealing with for this weekend winter storm here in the Tennessee Valley. That means also the potential for ice. So that's of course a word that nobody likes to hear when talking about winter storms or winter weather, but we just want to communicate the very real potential threats that we could be dealing with. So I shared this graphic yesterday morning, but it's a really good way for you to understand our thought process in the way that we forecast as well as the way that we communicate. So we're about 4 days out from the start of this event in terms of precipitation falling from the sky. So what does that mean? So we've answered questions, the first question as well as the second question so far. And of course, if you need answers to any questions, you are going to love the next graphic that I am going to show you. Going to be very informative heading into this weekend. But again, we're about 3 to 4 days out, more so 4 days out here on this Tuesday morning. So what we are starting to work out the details of for today here in the Tennessee Valley and on the Tennessee Valley weather team, we're trying to figure out and decipher what exactly we think will be falling from the sky. Again, it's a very tricky thing to do because just a few degrees, not only at the surface, but also aloft a few thousand feet above the surface can completely change the type of precipitation and the potential impacts that we see from that. So for today, we are going to be working out what exactly we think we're going to be seeing in terms of snow, ice, sleet, a potential mix, a potential overlayering of any sort of precipitation types, as well as potential impacts. And we, of course, will get more specific with all of those details here over the coming days, even through the rest of today. So overall, here are the answers to the questions that you may have so far. The general overall timeline looking to be late Friday night through Sunday morning. I do want to specify that that timeline is for precipitation falling from the sky. That's not necessarily the timeline. The potential impacts will be in place. We could be talking about potential impacts for a few days after precipitation stops falling from the sky. So that general timeline for, again, precipitation late Friday night through Sunday morning. In terms of what we can expect, at least at this point, we can say that we are expecting the potential for snow as well as ice. Now, in terms of exact amounts for exact locations, who is going to see what and how much of what who is going to see, those remain unknown at this time, but just know that we both have snow and ice concerns. And at this point, totals do not matter because it's looking like it's going to be impactful, whether you see a little bit or a lot, or whether you see snow or ice. Now, in terms of impacts, we are starting to communicate the potential for some impacts, as well as the potential that those impacts are going to be significant. We're talking about the potential and possibility for power outages as well as travel impacts. And like I mentioned with that first point, we aren't talking about impacts just through Sunday morning. We could be talking about impacts potentially a few days beyond that. Now, how many days beyond that, I cannot say at this point, but it is because of that final point on there, not to be forgotten by any means, of course, with all of the precip falling, but we are also going to be very cold on the backside after that precip does fall. We're talking single digit or lower wind chills Saturday night and Sunday night. So again, those potential impacts could linger into the beginning of next week. Exactly how long they will potentially linger, still up for debate, and still something that we will try to work out and try to communicate to you. But just know that the impacts will potentially linger past the last snowflake or last ice pellet falling and freezing on the ground. So that is what we know so far. Anything more specific than that, again, we will be detailing that here in the coming days. Just know we do have the potential for a winter storm here in the Tennessee Valley, as well as the potential for impacts. Now, the next few days, we are going to see those temperatures continue to warm up. We're talking upper 40s by Wednesday, lower 50s by Thursday. Again, that's paired with scattered showers that will be moving through. Then Friday, we're going to reach those lower 40s until Friday night, when that moisture is going to come in, and we are going to stay in the upper 20s to lower 30s at warmest during the afternoons as that potential winter storm moves through the Tennessee Valley. So temperatures look to be in place. Again, those large scale factors look to be in place. In fact, we are continuing to see that pretty strong signal for the potential for wintry weather and a winter storm here in the Tennessee Valley. Over the next few hours, though, we are seeing nothing but sunshine, pleasant conditions, at least in terms of the sky coverage. And then by the afternoon, temperatures will warm into the upper 30s to lower 40s. Again, plenty of sunshine for today. You will need the rain gear by Wednesday night and Thursday. Showers at times, not going to rain the entire 2 days, but the chance is there. So you will need the rain gear both Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures just a little bit warmer into the upper 40s to lower 50s. And then, of course, we are highlighting Friday through the potential of Monday of next week for that potential winter storm for us here in the Tennessee Valley, with those potential impacts like I just highlighted, the potential for power outages as well as the potential for travel impacts. Again, we're not just talking about snow with this system. Unfortunately, we're talking about the potential for some ice as well as some mixed precipitation. So again, we will be able to get more specific with those details in the coming days, but just know we do have a potentially impactful winter storm on the way to the Tennessee Valley this weekend. So now's the time, again, not necessarily to run to the store and buy everything that you see in sight, but just have your plan of action to what you need to do to prepare your home to be at home for just a couple days for this weekend. That's a look at your local weather forecast on this Tuesday morning. Remember to bundle up as you head out the door. It is cold out there, temperatures in the teens and 20s right now. I'll be back at 8 a.m. with your next weather update. Taylor Plott will be live at noon with another update on the winter storm, as well as Fred Gossage, our chief meteorologist, will be live at 5 with another update on the potential winter storm for this weekend.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.